Hello again, my chronic illness sisters and brothers. I woke up again today with one of my chronic immune system. I have systemic lupus. So there's always something. And then I have sore joints, which makes my salivary glands get dry and sore. And if I eat something, they sting. So this time I think that's what's bothering my... Oh, I could go on and on. But anyways, so Emily Muir Red said, Julie, do you do this online professionally? Awesome. How much do you charge an hour? Well, I used to when I was younger. Counsel people with chronic disease, pain, or other stuff too? See, now I'm going to be 67 this month. And I wrote this book when it was 2012. Now it's 2025, almost 26. But all these things still apply for us. It would be so healthy for the entire family to get counseling when a member of the family has chronic disease. I wish I knew better how to talk to my kids about it. So when I got that message from her, with her permission to put it in my book, of course, I found this. Talking to children and youth when it's time to discuss a family member's chronic illness, especially when you're younger and you have young kids. So when illness affects a family, the children, including the offspring or siblings of people with mental illness and physical illness, are just as confused and scared as the adult family members. So we don't often realize that, do we? They know something is wrong, and they see that their family member has changed and are aware when there is tension in the home. They need information and explanations to help them understand what is happening. Children often imagine things that are worse than reality, and don't we all? So parents, older siblings, and other family members can help dispel fears and anxieties. Help your child to be supportive of their family member by talking to them about the chronic illness and be honest but optimistic. Talk to your child using language and explanations that are appropriate to their age level and maturity. Look for books and handouts that are written for children. Movies sometimes offer examples that can be used to help children understand. For example, The Lion King, Simba suffers from depression, and after the death of his father, Mufasa, Simba's appearance, loss of energy, and the lack of interest as he slowly proceeds through the desert provide a concrete example for children to visualize. Comparing chronic illness to other physical illnesses can help normalize the illness, especially if it's a mental illness. And if they have some knowledge of another chronic illness, such as asthma, you can use it as an example to help children understand that ongoing care is needed and that people have reoccurrences of symptoms, and it's important to educate about the particular disorder you're dealing with. If your child asks you a question you don't know how to answer, be honest and tell them you don't know. Let them know you're trying to find out. If a child has seen violent or suicidal behavior, situations requiring police intervention, or any other traumatic incident, don't underestimate how terrifying this experience can be. Help your child to express their feelings. Yes, and often we all just go hide away and we don't even talk to each other, do we? So you're going to look back and wish that you would have sat beside that child or young adult or teenager and just ask them to express their feelings about it and express yours, to give them permission. And what you say and do regarding your family member's illness will probably influence your child more than anything you can tell them to do. So what you say and do regarding your family member's illness will probably influence your child more than anything you can tell them to do. Suggestions for what to talk about. Ask your child what they think is a reason for why their family member has been acting differently, and use their response as a way to begin talking about mental illness. Children, especially young children, often believe that if something happens in their world, it is linked to something they did. They don't understand at all, and they would take it upon themselves. Ask your child if they somehow feel they are to blame for their family members becoming ill. Reassure your child that their family members' illness was not their fault, and mental illness is nobody's fault. Neither is any kind of chronic illness. Explain that illness can make a person act in strange, confusing, or sometimes scary ways. Using alcohol or street drugs can make people do things they would not normally do. Ask your child about the way their family member acts and how it makes them feel. Just the beginning of feeling heard. There's a great saying, and it's like, when a person feels heard, that will be the beginning of their healing. Just to feel like you are understood, acknowledged, and heard. Let them know that feelings are neither right nor wrong. It's okay and natural for them to have the feelings they're having. There's some other suggestions. Reassure your child that adults in the family and other people, such as doctors, are trying to help their family members get better. Make sure your child knows what to do and who to call if they don't feel safe. And explain to your child that many people still don't understand what mental illness is, and all illnesses of the brain. And the brain is an organ of the body, just like the heart, liver, and kidneys. Sometimes it can get sick just like other organs, so help your child to realize that when they try to talk about their family member's illness, their friends and even adults may make fun of it, so they may say things that aren't true, or they may not know what to say. So practice with your child what they might say to their friends and other people. That's a good idea. If your child witnesses their family member being taken to hospital, and voluntarily help them understand what happened and why it happened. For example, your brother suffers from an illness that prevented him from knowing what was best for him. And so just like you have had to do things you didn't want to do, but we knew were good for you. So sometimes when a person is ill, other people need to decide what is best for them, and always remember to let your child know that you are there to listen if they want to talk. Here are some questions children commonly ask. Why is my family member acting this way? Is it my fault? Can I catch it? Will they always be this way? Do they still love me? Why is this happening to our family? And who will take care of me if mom or dad gets sick? Age-appropriate explanations to these questions. Toddlers and preschool children can understand short, simple sentences that provide concrete information. For example, do you remember when you had a cold, chickenpox, or measles? You didn't feel like doing anything, and you were sometimes grouchy. Well, it wasn't because you don't love us or wanted to be that way, but because you didn't feel good. And Mommy sometimes doesn't feel well right now, and she needs to sleep to help her get better. And she still loves you and me, but she can't show it right now. Or when Daddy is sick, he has difficulty going to work. Abandonment is a major childhood fear, so children need frequent reassurance they will be cared for no matter what happens. School-aged children can understand more information, and they can likely understand the concept of various disorders, example, depression and anxiety, but may be overwhelmed by details about medications and other types of treatments. For example, you know how parts of our bodies get sick sometimes, like when you get a stomach ache or a sore throat? Well, sometimes a person's brain can get very sick, and the sickness can cause a person to feel badly inside. It also makes a person's thoughts get all jumbled and mixed up, so they can't think clearly, and this illness has names such as schizophrenia. Teenagers have the ability to understand more complex explanations about chronic illnesses and how it is treated, and they are better able to express their own thoughts and feelings. And concerns they have may include, will I inherit this illness, or what will others think? Important messages children need to hear. Mental illness is an illness. With treatment and support, their family member will get better. And they did not cause this illness to happen. They cannot make the illness better. The illness affects the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves. Reminders that it is the illness speaking, not their parents, when they say hurtful or frightening things. Adapted from Helping Children Cope, Mood Disorder Society of Canada. And there you go. You have to do those things. You can't just know them. If we know something, if we have knowledge, then we need to act upon it. We need to go and sit with them and play with them and then talk about these things so they don't feel like you're intruding on them. Okay, our next one is S word is sorrowing. So remember what the S words, all of them are. Let's go back to my theory. We have sick, sorrowing, suffering, struggling, starving, sinning, searching, suicidal, sad, scared, stressed, and those who serve. And over here, there was one part I think I left out. Up here, when we were doing the sick, the first one that we're reading about. Yeah, it's right over here. I left out the enabling family. I didn't read that. There are families that disregard the pain patient, but there are also families that enable the person. Either end of the spectrum is unhealthy, and if the person in pain states, I'm going to get a drink, and the non-pain family member says, no, don't move, I'll get it. The pain patient needs to make it clear that it's not helpful to do everything for them, and to be assertive, and you just make it clear, no, I need to try to do more. And the person experiencing the pain needs to do as many activities independently as possible. The healthy loved one should encourage activities in the relationship and not do everything for them. So those are just... And then we read the chronic pain patient's physical responsibilities. Yeah, so now we read about as much as is in this book about being sick. And the next one is sorrowing. That's a nice big one, isn't it? All these S words cause suffering. I mean, I believe that loss, all kinds of loss, cause these, are the cause of S words and suffering when we have loss. This book helps us with all kinds of loss.